Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Jacqueline. I have been with Wine Ambassador for the last 5 years, and I'm going to be your MC this evening. I'm coming to you from Dallas, Texas. And I'd like to welcome everyone. We have a great lineup. We have a lot of special little nuggets for you this evening. But before we get started, I am going to pass it to Andy Pearman. He has a few words that he wants to speak with us about before we do our toast of the evening. So, Andy.
Hey, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm excited to be co-hosting tonight. I decided when I was asked to co-host this to try to feature marriage tonight as a special occasion. My wife and I just celebrated 41 years of marriage on Monday, and so I thought it'd be a good theme for us to celebrate marriage tonight. I have been on the schedule for, Tanya does the schedule for the Wine Dine. I've been on the schedule for September the 7th for about a year now. And a few weeks ago, I decided to celebrate marriage tonight. But I just thought it was interesting, not a coincidence, that in my morning Bible reading this morning, I read, "But from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate." So God knew that I was going to be hosting tonight. He knew what I was planning to do. And this morning in my daily Bible reading, that just happened to pop up. It was not a circumstance. He planned it all along. And I just thought I'd share that with you before we get started tonight.
Well, thank you so much for that, Andy, and it's very true. And so we have a wonderful lineup for you all this evening with some great cooks. We have some good wine education. But before we get started, every Wednesday, we like to do a special toast to kick off our Wine and Dine. So for those of you who are new, please sit back and relax and enjoy and learn a little bit. And I am going to turn it over to our CEO, Mr. Rory Rickard, and he's going to kick us off tonight with a great toast. Rory?
So thank you, Jackie and Andy. I love what's happening today, and that was very awesome. And when we were talking about what we were going to be celebrating, I thought about it, and I have the whole thing with all roads lead to wine, but I got to tell you, as far as like any type of marital or relationship advice, a glass of wine over the strong points of conversation always helps. And getting through those years and building that together, there's great rewards when you do it right. It's worth the challenge, and nothing's easy. We make it easy by practice, right? So Andy, I'm really proud of you guys for practicing for 41 years, and here's a cheers to you and your wife, and here's a cheers to everybody in the anniversaries. And just remember that every year you make progress. That's what it's about. Cheers.
Salud. Thank you so much, Rory.
And everybody, I'd like to introduce you to little Anakin here, Malik's brother.
Anakin. Beautiful little baby. And as you can see, Rory has just become a grandfather again this weekend. And so I think we have another special toast. Peter, are you around?
Yes, I'm here. So anyway, yes, we talk about our Wine Ambassador family a lot, and we're happy to always have our family growing, but we never have it growing quite this literally. And I was really honored to be able to share the moment with Rory when he found out little Anakin had come to join us. So here's to Rory's family and to little Anakin leading us for a long time.
Salute. Thank
Cheers.
you. Thank
Cheers.
you, Peter. Okay, so guys, for those of you who don't know, we just came back from our annual harvest event in Napa. Many of us were there in Napa this past weekend, and we have a wine label that is given every year. And this particular year, we have a phenomenal, it's a brand new, great vintage that was introduced into the wine label wine line for us. And it's a Melbeck, and it is a beautiful, absolute label. And it went to my dear friend, and I don't know if you could see this, Deanna Young. And she is from Canada, and she is just my sweetheart. And so before we get on with the cooking, I would like to introduce Deanna to come on and talk to us a few minutes about winning the wine label and what that means to her. So Dee, are you around, baby?
I'm here. Hi, guys. Sorry, I'm not on camera. I caught a little bug when I was away, and just I've been sleeping all day and all night, and flew home all last night. So I'm a little under the weather, but I definitely just wanted to come on here and say just how blown away I still am at winning this wine label. You guys, you have no idea how much it meant to me, and I just feel so blessed. You know, I've been I've been with you guys since Wine Ambassador started, and even a few years before. And this was definitely one of my dreams, to have my own wine label as well. And I can't thank you guys enough. And those that were there seen my ugly cry when they announced my name. And I was just so blown away. I was not expecting it. And you guys, this wine is, and I'm not even being biased here, but it is my favorite now. Like, it is so good, and I can't wait for you guys to all try it. You're going to absolutely love it. And my label is so perfect, and I know you guys all took a lot of time to make sure that you get it perfect. And I mean, look at that. Jackie's holding that up. It is so perfect. And Niall, it's pink, it's me, the blonde hair, my bag. It is so perfect. And I just feel so blessed to be the winner this year. And, you know, anybody that's coming on to this, you know, new, even people that, you know, come on in the next couple of months, you guys have the opportunity of getting this for next year. And it is such an accomplishment and great feeling. You definitely need to get one yourself. So I just want to say thanks again, you guys. You definitely made my day that day.
Yeah,
Well,
and it wasn't just your
congratulations,
day.
sweetheart.
And it wasn't just your day, it was all of us. There is, for everybody who was there, sharing it with you was something that just is, you cannot, you know, a priceless moment. And that's, so everyone who wasn't there, you got to be there with us in the future, because that moment is just, and the whole evening of celebrating that wine was just an amazing night.
It was amazing. Even though they did a little trickaroo on me, it was
Cheers,
yeah,
Scooter.
I'll save that story for next week, you guys, because I'll be on here next week hosting, and I'll share some more with you guys. But yeah, cheers, everybody. And
Cheers.
I can't wait again for you all to
Baby
try
girl. And yes, be sure to join us next week, because Diana will be hosting us. But let's get on with this evening. Andy Perryman, y'all have heard from him a little bit, has a great lineup for us this evening of cooks with a delicious menu with pairings. So I am going to turn it over to Andy and let him take it away. Andy?
Hey, thank you, Jackie. I'm excited to be here tonight, and we do have an amazing lineup of cooks. I'm going to tell you one anniversary story before we get started. 40 years ago, when I had been married 1 year, I wanted to impress my wife. And so I took her to the Green Jacket restaurant in Augusta. That's right across from the Augusta National. And while we were there, they gave us a free bottle of champagne. My wife and I had never tasted champagne, so we decided we would try it. And I wanted to just tell you, it was nasty. So I was thinking, I wonder what a difference might have been in my life if we'd had some of this amazing Hudson sparkling wine that night instead of that nasty champagne that we got at the Green Jacket. So having told you that story, I will share with you that we went to the cookout this year and I got her corn dogs and fries. Okay, so enough celebration. We have Maggie Lawrence tonight is going to prepare our appetizer. Darlena Stevens is going to be doing our main course, and Beth Johnson is going to be doing our dessert. So we're going to kind of take them in order. Maggie, you're up first, and I'll put the recipe or the links to their pages in the chat so you can click on that and go and see what they're cooking tonight as they share it with us. Maggie, you're up. You can unmute. Tell us what you got going on.
Hi, just a little bit of a story also. My husband and I will be sharing our 39th anniversary next week on our vacay, along with both of my brothers and Darlena and my other brother's wife and other extended family. So I thought this was going to be kind of fun. Now, for the type of meal we're putting on tonight, we all like appetizers, but I thought it should be something different than the typical blooming onion from Outback or deep fried pickles from Texas Roadhouse. So one of the appetizers I do make a lot for us is a hot artichoke dip, and you can dress it up with all kinds of variations. I make it pretty standard. It's just artichokes and the other items I'll show you, but you can also dress it with chopped up crab, shrimp, lobster, jalapenos, anything you want. And it really is a nice thing to have prior to if your guests are waiting for their dinner. It can be served with tortilla chips in a sourdough bread bowl, on crackers, on little baguette bread. It just is so versatile. So it's in the oven right now. I had to start it and it's about ready to come out. But what it takes is, it's very simple. It's 1 can of artichoke hearts diced up. And I use the Maria brand because they're in water. You don't want them in oil. It will change the flavor of your dip. And then it takes 1 can of those chopped up, 8 ounces of mayonnaise, 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese, and 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. You just mix it all together well, put it in a baking dish, whether it be a dish you want to serve in or just a pan because you're going to put it in something else later, that doesn't matter. And it cooks on 350 for 30 minutes. And I will have that out of the oven for you in just a few minutes. The next one I'm going to make is an Italian style bruschetta. So to start with, I have 1.5 pounds of diced tomatoes. And then we need a few teaspoons of diced red onion. I'm not sure if you can see them. I can, but.
We can see them. Yeah.
Okay, so we do that, and we have fresh basil chopped up. That goes in. We have 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Fresh minced garlic, enough for 2 large cloves. 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, and then freshly ground black pepper. You just mix it up really well, and then it tells you to spoon it on your bread, your little bread pieces first, but those go into the oven in the broiler for about 3 minutes, just to get them a little toasted on the top. You put some olive oil on those and you toast them. And when you take them out, you spoon your tomato mixture on them and then put them on a serving tray. They're ready to go. If you're having a party to where they're going to sit and not everybody's going to eat them right now because they're not sitting at the table, you can just serve the tomato mixture in a bowl with the breads around it. Let people put it on themselves so it doesn't make your bread mushy. But when you come back, I will have everything ready for you and we can see what it tastes like.
Sounds good, Maggie. Peter, while she is getting all that together, be thinking about the wines that would pair with those 2 appetizers.
Oh, yeah, I'm all over that. I'm ready. I have definitely have some good thoughts for you on that.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have any alcohol in my house, so I don't have a lot of knowledge on that.
Okay, well, I'll tell you a little about it because you have two different things. Appetizers are always at the start of the meal, so you want to start light. You don't want to go with a big, heavy wine at that point. You want something light and refreshing. And you have a couple interesting tastes there. The artichoke is a very challenging taste and has this very vegetal, almost grassy quality. And for that, you always want Sauvignon Blanc. And that's a perfect one to start this out. And that would also go beautifully with the tomatoes. All those herbal vegetal qualities match with the tomato great in salads and it matches great with it. So I would do Sauvignon Blanc would be the perfect choice for starting off this meal.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, Darlena, you're up with our main course.
Hello, everybody. And as we start our celebration tonight, I want you to know that I was so happy when Andy told me we were doing our theme around celebrating tonight, especially anniversaries. I'm 3 months early to my 54th, to my husband. He is my love, and I don't know what I'd do without him. So each morning I thankfully thank God for him, and I think my toast to my husband sitting over there having his own Hudson is appropriate tonight. So thank you, Andy, for coming up with this. I love the Hudson. It is delicious. But tonight I'm bringing you, because we're celebrating, I started out trying to think of what meal I was going to make. And I kind of went the backwards way. I decided what wine I wanted to have with it. And I'm so glad Peter's on tonight because he knows that one of my most favorite one is his, the Antonio Cabernet. So that's what I have to have with this later. And he can talk to us all about that. I'm sure he loves that wine as much as I do. So
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of starting backwards like that. Start with the wine and say, okay, what am I going to cook with this? That's I love that.
That's what I did here. You know, with the price of beef these days, and you know, I don't think we get to eat it as much as we do, and often as we used to. And I think a lot of people are afraid of how to cook, especially, you know, a really good cut like a rib eye. But they're really very simple. And you just don't want to overcook them. That's the main thing. So you go and you get a good steak, get it fresh from your market. I've left it out for about an hour so it would come to room temperature. And then I have dried it up with the paper towels you want to dry. And then I've already mixed my salt, pepper, and some ground up beef bouillon that I'm going to sprinkle over the top.
Ground up bouillon. I've never done that. I like that.
It kind of makes it crispy on top. And you want to do it on both sides.
And what you just told people, bringing it to room temperature and drying it and then seasoning it. That is so important.
Okay, pat it in so it stays there. And I prepared my pan with some foil, sprayed it a little bit with some ham, and I laid down some sliced onion and some smashed garlic, and that's what I'm gonna lay my ribeye on top of. That's gonna go on top of that. I have my broil oven on, and it's gonna go in the oven just for about 15 minutes. And then I'm gonna turn it over and do it about another 10 minutes. And I'm gonna use my thermometer, my instant read thermometer to get my wellness amount done. So we usually like it about medium in the 130, 135. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the oven. I have another one, I've taken out already, and I've tented it, which is another thing to do for about 10 minutes after you take it out to kind of get the juices pushed back into it. So it's gonna go in. I'm also making some roasted carrots and potatoes to go with my meal too. So see you in a bit.
Boy, in that short form, she told us everything you ever need to know about cooking a steak. And some of those points, like the way she put it on top of the vegetables so that the air can circulate, you get the flavor from those vegetables, drying it out, bringing it up to temperature, and using the thermometer, that's how you get a perfect steak. And you're getting me very, very hungry right now.
Very good.
The only problem I have is she's in California and I'm in Georgia.
Well, we have planes, as a lot of us know from the last couple of days.
That's true. All right. Darlene, we'll be back to check on you in just a little bit.
Okay, sounds good.
Beth, let's talk about a dessert.
Okay. So as far as stories for anniversary, for those of you who know my story, you know that I am a single foster and adopted mom, so I don't have a wedding anniversary, but our famiversary from when I was able to adopt my 2 little angels is coming up in November. So we have a anniversary coming up as well. Okay, so this is chocolate cherry cheesecake cups. And it's in 3 layers. It looks super awesome. It looks beautiful. It looks really complicated, and it's really, really easy. It's 3 layers. I've started the first layer already. What you're gonna need is some type of glass cup. I'm gonna be using dessert cups, but if you don't have dessert cups, I know you have wine glasses. Wine glasses work beautifully for this, as do margarita glasses, brandy snippers. You want to do little tiny ones, you can do shot glasses, all these martini glasses, and daiquiri glasses, on the rocks glasses. You have glasses somewhere, right? So you don't have to have dessert cups, but that's what I have. So the first thing I do, thanks, buddy. One of my little angels is going to help me by moving things out of the way. So the first thing I've done is make the brownie mix. And what I did with that, really, I just have a brownie mix. You have your own mix, that's fine. I made a couple of changes though. Instead of the water, I substituted cherry juice to give it some extra cherry flavor.
Nice.
And instead of the pans that they recommend, I use a really big pan. This is a 15 by 11, like a jelly roll pan kind of thing. Because I use such a large pan and spread it so thin, I only cooked it for 11 minutes. So I made the fudgy type brownies. I don't know if you guys know, but some brownies are fudgy, some are cakey. Everybody has a preference, right? The only difference is the number of eggs. It doesn't matter what mix you use. You get the fudge brownie mix and you want cake brownies, just put in an extra egg. 2 eggs for fudge brownies, 3 eggs for cake brownies. That's all it is. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to be using these little dessert cups. I cooked this, I spread it thin. And I like these dessert cups because you can also use them as cookie cutter. And this is going to be our bottom layer. Use that as a cookie cutter. And there's my bottom layer there. Super simple. And I'm going to fill a few cups with those. And then I'm going to make the middle layer for you. Middle layer is the no-bake cheesecake layer. And for that, we need softened cream cheese. We need 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. Whipped cream, you can totally use Cool Whip here, but when I bring out Big Blue Bertha, I use her for everything I can. So I whipped my own cream and about 1/3 cup of lemon juice. If you don't put the lemon juice in, it'll be super sweet, sickeningly sweet. So you're gonna put all these things into Big Blue Bertha here and get them mixed up. Minute.
And by the way, that tip about the lemon juice is one of the essences of food and wine pairing. It's all about combining flavors like that.
Yep. And lemon juice. Gonna mix that for a minute or so. It doesn't take very long. Ooh, look at that. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, now it's a party.
Woo-hoo! Not a party without a minute.
Clean up on mile 2.
All right. So that's mixed. Like I said, it doesn't take long at all. And going to, I'll use my big spoon. My other spoon. Gonna spoon this in on top of the dessert cups. And then I'm gonna put them in the refrigerator for about 15, maybe 20 minutes. And then we're gonna come back and I'll show you the topping. This just needs to set, not very long. Put it in the refrigerator. Then we'll do the top.
Looks good, Beth. We'll be back.
All right.
All right, Maggie, tell us what you got. You are muted, Maggie. You're gonna have to unmute.
Okay, I'm finished. So
All right.
to begin with, here is
Just-
what your artichoke dip looks like when it comes out of the oven. So, can you guys see it?
No, up a little higher. Yeah, your background is kind of fading it out, so.
Oh. See, my window really put a glare on it. That's why I put a background in.
Okay.
Let's see here. How's that?
Well, there it was. Oh, there you go. Looks good.
Okay. And I put the whole can of artichokes in it. If people are adding other things, they may not want the whole can of artichokes, but this way you get artichoke in every bite. And I serve it with crackers or tortilla chips or the little breads. And then for the bruschetta, here's my bruschetta. I can't really tip it. Let's see here. I'm gonna tip, there we go. Wait a minute, Joe. Okay, can you see it? No?
Almost there, yes. Okay.
Okay, so same difference. There's crackers, there's little, honey, don't. No, there's little scoops, and here's the bruschetta where I put the tomatoes on it now and left some where people could do it themselves. That's the idea when you have a party, so you don't get mushy bread. And just put the bowl in the middle. But it's good. So, shall we have a taste? We'll go like this. We'll get a taste of each. Anybody want to come taste? I have tasters here. So on a cracker.
Oh, artichoke.
And a little scoop with some bruschetta in it. This is great. Finger food. I love it. I could live on it. I don't need anything else.
Looks good, Maggie. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Darlena, we're gonna give you just a few more minutes, unless your steak is ready now. Is it ready?
Eat the little scoop. And with that, that's good.
Darlena, you'll have to unmute.
I'm ready.
Okay,
Yeah, we're unmuted. I'm unmuted.
all right. Tell us what you got. Well, now you're muted again. I can't hear you.
Looks good. It's making me hungry, but
No, okay, now,
Now.
there
you're-
we go.
there you go.
okay, thank you. Sorry about that. So my steak came out as nice and crisp, which is I like, but the tin inside looks just perfect for a medium steak. There's 3 of us here tonight, so we're gonna start out with the first one, divided into 3s. And I have my crispy potatoes and carrots to add to it. So I don't know if you're ready for me to have my wine with it, or if you want to come back to that part, but the steak is done and my roasted carrots and potatoes are done. And best of all, look what I got here. Peter
You got the
smiled.
good stuff.
Are you ready for me to taste? You're gonna come back to that.
Let's come back to that. Let me take just a few minutes to talk about this amazing wine of the month club. Obviously, if you want to taste all these wines that we've shown you tonight, you want to become part of our wine of the month club. We'd love to have you join the family. There are actually 3 ways you can get started. You can start as a customer and just taste some of the wines that we have available for you. or you can come on as an ambassador. There are 3 levels. As an ambassador, there's the estate, the reserve, and the grand cru. And all of those come with different perks. As a state, you get a case of wine. As a reserve, you get 2 cases of wine. As a grand cru, you get 3 cases of wine, plus the amazing grand cru wines, 6 bottles that are very specially selected grand cru wines. And then, of course, we're not trying to force anybody to drink wine who doesn't. So we have an option for those of you who cannot drink wine. You can still participate in the wine club and have all the benefits by joining as a non-ship state or a non-ship member, ambassador. And we just love to have you come and join us. So get with whoever invited you here tonight to get more of the information about how to join our Wine of the Month Club and just enjoy the fun, get into the excitement. Be prepared for the trip next year that Peter's already started talking about. All right.
Yes, we'll talk a little about that later, because we had such an amazing time a couple days ago, and we have new things coming up that the day after Rory and I are working on one of our real big things for next year. So I'll tell you a little about that.
All right, we'll get back to you before we leave. Okay, Darlene, you're going to go ahead and taste it and tell us how it tastes with that. What was that weird name of that wine you said?
I don't know. I don't know. It might be.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Okay, so I have my morsel of ribeye steak, one of the best meats out there. So tender. Oh, they go together so well. Steak and red wine, man. Especially this one, fabulous.
Yeah.
So tell us about your wine. Tell us all about your wine, Peter.
Well,
You're
I
the
mean,
expert on this one.
yeah. Obviously, it's the wine that I'm pretty excited about this particular wine, since I did put my name on it. But or I guess I should say I put my mother's name on it. But it's Cabernets. There's a reason this is the wine you have with a big juicy steak or a burger. This is a wine with a lot of body, a lot of structure, and the tannins, sometimes it could be overwhelming with other foods, are what you need with the fattiness and the richness of the steak, which is why especially a ribeye is a great choice with it. And then you have all those flavors that you did to make that nice that crust adds so much to the flavor, and that also works beautifully with the wine. It's a wonderful pairing. It is probably the single most best known wine pairing in the world. I guess in our club, it's secondly known to chocolate and the Ricard Merlot.
Oops, we lost Peter.
We lost him.
Uh-oh, Peter.
Okay, he'll be back. Sorry.
Andy, I think Peter just pulled a mic drop on you. That was a Rory Rickard move if I ever seen one.
No, I think this wine is fabulous. I think almost anyone in our club who has had this one agrees with me. It's really good.
I put the link for Darlena's page in the chat if you want to go and check out that ribeye steak recipe. I'm definitely going to. Let me see, Peter's back. Check it out, because I've never tried cooking over onions and garlic. I always put everything on top. So let me find Peter. I lost him now, so I can co-host him again. There he is.
Hello again. my iPad decided to make all kinds of colors and then stop working. So I guess I
Good.
got a little too excited about the wine. But
Right in the middle of a sentence. Yeah. Welcome back.
thank you. So, but yes, there's, as I was saying, there's a reason that's the classic pairing, and it's, like I said, it's secondly known as far except to chocolate and Rickard Merlot here, but it's still a great pairing. So, speaking of chocolate, I think we have a dessert.
Yes, Maggie is up. Maggie has her dessert ready. No, not Maggie. Beth has her dessert ready.
Somebody
Yep.
named Maggie was getting very confused there.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna get the top layer going. For the top layer, we need cherry pie filling. That's this. And my own concoction, I created this. I don't even remember how or why. But it's coconut oil and chocolate hazelnut spread. This is, and I melted it together. This is about a teaspoon of coconut oil and about a tablespoon of Nutella. Also notice we did not eat the scraps. I crumbled these up. These are the scraps from the brownie are gonna go on top too. So just spoon over the cherries. Make a couple of these because my kids are here. They get to stay up a little bit late tonight and taste, do the taste test for me. And I'm gonna crumble a couple of crumbles on top of the cherries. Get a little more chocolate flavor. Kind of hard to have too much chocolate.
That's right.
And then I'm gonna drizzle a little mixture on top and make it pretty.
Oh my goodness, I just gained 7 pounds.
It is really good. And let's see this.
Yeah, hold it up. There you go.
There we go. That's what it looks like. 3 layers. It's really pretty. It looks like you put a ton of effort into it, and it's just so super simple.
Outstanding. And would you like to tell us anything about a wine that you would have with that?
My favorite Cabernet, I love the Antonio, but my favorite is the Donna Walker. And that's what I would pair that with. So I would let Peter tell me if that's a bad choice or if he thinks there's a better one.
There's never a bad choice. But
There's no bad time for a good wine.
exactly, but that's a wonderful choice. I also saw from your page you recommended another of our label winners, and both of them would make wonderful choices. And it's sort of a work backwards with you. You look at the notes and the tasting notes on them, and both of them mention cherry in them. And well,
Exactly.
there's a reason. And both red wines, both that and the other one I'm mentioning is the Donna Walker Pinot Noir, or sorry, Donna Walker, the Nialetti Pinot Noir. Nile, I'm sorry. That is also an incredible choice with it. It's great with chocolate. It's great with cherries. And both of them, the same way that these wines are nice with a steak, they're nice with rich, fatty things like, say, cheesecake. So it's a terrific choice. It excites me just how much, first of all, these ladies know how to cook. They no kidding about it. They know exactly what they're doing. But on top of that, they understand how this wine goes together. It's all the same thing. Food and wine is just the same as cooking. It's combining flavors and what goes together. And it's all about enjoying it. And it's one of the other things I'm excited about is every one of you is that you're not just doing it on your own. You have people to share it with. So.
Thank you, Peter. This is the night to get confused, I guess.
It is.
Maggie is in Arizona, so I can't enjoy the appetizers with her, but Beth is here in Georgia, so I may drive up in a little while and get some of that chocolate covered cherry brownie, whatever that is.
Well, Maggie, I may be by in a little while then, so.
Great job, guys. Appreciate you cooks tonight. Peter, you said you had something else you wanted to share with us before we.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little about where we just were. And Jackie, you can, Jackie, among others, and Deanna and Rory, and a lot of you people were with me. Our Grand Crew members get to come and spend time with us in our vineyard in Napa every Labor Day. And it is just a wonderful experience. First of all, it's getting the whole family together. I get to see, it's the only time of year I get to see all of you. So that in itself is exciting. And we get to celebrate what we're doing and celebrate the person who did the most. Now, we're trying to make something new, something a little more exciting every year. And this is something that Rory and I came up with, and we've had this for a while. We've been preparing a very special wine that's only going to be available at the tasting event. This is going to be beyond Grand Cru. This is something normally we couldn't do. It's a special edition one-time wine that you're only going to be able to taste at this event. And everybody who comes is going to get a very special bottle of this wine. Wow. And Rory and I were tasting this wine from the tank on Tuesday, right after the event. And that's one of it's an incredible thing to take. We all taste the wines once they're done the bottles, but we get to experience it as it grows up and as it develops, because the wine is not the same all the way along. And people mention a lot, we don't do it until bottle it until it's ready. This one wasn't ready yet this year, but it will be next year. And we are beyond excited to share it with everyone there in the vineyard next year. But Jackie can tell you a little more about just the whole experience of the vineyard, because I think that needs to be talked about too. It's an amazing night.
The night wouldn't be
Thank you for that, because
the night wouldn't be complete unless somebody shared a little bit more about what happened out there.
well, it was phenomenal. It's an experience that if you're not there, it's hard to explain, to see us all come together in a vineyard that we're all part of and be able to share in the camaraderie and visit and just be part of the whole process of the membership, right? And you can't experience that. You can't tell someone what that's like without being there. And we get to see people that we don't see. Many of us, work together and are in the membership together, but we've never met face to face. So this is a time where we can all come together and really see where it all happens, if you will. And I know I'm not doing it any justice. All I can tell you is get there, because it is something that you can't really put into words. It's that phenomenal. It's that great. And I'm just very honored and blessed to be part of that. It was just a great, great experience. But before we close up tonight, Peter has shared a lot about how he felt the wines would pair. I always like to get Rory's take on how he thinks the wines paired with the different foods. Rory, are you still with us? And can you give us a little insight? You heard of all the cooks and their recipes and the wines that they chose. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah, this one's actually really easy for me, because it's like, you almost can't go wrong. When you're bringing out the Hudson, especially, the thing about sparkling is, some people let us drink that with dinner. It's so light on the palate that it can kind of just go with anything. The trick though, and I'll just put this out there, is when you start with like a sparkling, and you go from that to like a red, you may not like going back. Your palate's adjusting. You got that coat going on with like a red. So, if you do the whole meal that way, I know some individuals that drink sparkling the entire meal. That's what they do, and they're going to get a little bit of enhancement, but you're not the same as going to that party red or matching with the foods. So it's one of those things that it's always a safe way to start, and it always gets people in a different type of a mood. Sparklings tend to raise people's spirits up. There's something about it. It's like celebratory. It doesn't really lull you down and like make you kind of sleepy. It kind of is like it's the fun wine, right? There's something about it that's just fun. So it's not, other than like New Year's Eve for a toast, I don't recommend closing the night out with it. It's something to start the evening with. For me, it's always celebratory to start the evening off, like the toast before the dinner for the weddings. But you know, other than New Year's toast celebration, which that's the way, and I don't know if anybody can even taste it by then, but other than that, it's such an easy go with that. And you know, if you just have that the night and maybe you're having a special moment in celebration, you know, you think about what that is, but to me, it's a way to open the night up. And then you go to something, you can go anything from some, especially like our brute, anything from the brute forward is going to be heavier. That we don't have anything lighter than that. That's the lightest, right? Even rosé is a little bit more weighty than the brute sparkling. So it's, to me, it's just a light, fun thing. Everybody did great tonight.
Thank you so much, Roy. We always
Yeah.
like to hear from you. Congratulations again on the new grandbaby. And y'all, we're going to go ahead and close this evening. I would love to thank all the cooks. Everyone did a great job. I hope you learned a little bit. You enjoyed it. We are here every week on the same channel. So please join us. And if you know anyone that may be interested, please invite them. And like we said earlier, Deanna will be here next week. She will be hosting, and that's all I have for tonight. So I'll give you a night back, and God bless, and bye for now.
Night, guys. See you next week.